Purple Style Labs, which is the parent company of Pernia's pop-up shop, among others, has secured $14 million in Series C funding from its new and existing investors. It is looking to expand Pernia's pop-up studio experience centers both in India and overseas, and it wants to invest growth capital in younger labels and continue acquiring mature brands as well as part of its vision to make the company one of the largest luxury fashion houses in India. Joining me now in our studio is Abhishek Agarwal, who's the founder of Purple Style Labs, to talk about what's in the pipeline for the company and how he plans to realize some of these ambitious targets that you've set for yourself. Abhishek, welcome to the CNBC-TV18 studio. Let me begin by asking you particularly, IIT Bombay, Deutsche Bank, fashion house. How did that come about?
Well, honestly, I always have had an inclination towards fashion. Generally, engineers won't. I mean, you don't see that naturally coming
no,
to
we
engineering.
don't.
No. When I landed IIT Bombay, I was like, okay, yeah. I mean, slightly, it's not the same kind of world I have grown in.
Not at all.
But you know, I mean, IIT Bombay obviously helped me get a good network out of college. Joined Deutsche Bank. Banking again is a bit of flair. You know, especially markets. So I used to work out of Hong Kong. I mean, people there would like to dress up. So I, again, got back to my passion. So when I was looking to change banks, I was like, you know, let me start something on my own. And fashion just came naturally.
Wow, that's quite the jump from Deutsche Bank to Purple Style Labs. But Abhishek, you recently raised about $14 million.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we're speaking to you. You've been quite elusive. Tell us what you plan to do with it. What are your plans with some of your companies in your portfolio?
So, we have not raised a lot of capital. We never needed much. We have a pretty strong return on capital generally as a business. The idea going forward from here is to expand stores. But what has changed as strategy is that our first store in Juhu was only 2,000 square feet. And our last store in Delhi was about 20,000. Oh. And this year, the newer one in Hyderabad is about 30,000. So what we have realized with time, from a business standpoint, it doesn't make sense for us to do smaller stores. Our focus is picking cities by cities and just keep doing large stores, one in each city where it makes sense. So I think in India, we are pretty much there in top 10 cities now. Barring Chennai and Surat, we might just do later part of this year.
And internationally as well?
And internationally, we opened London 3 years ago. And we'll be looking to do New York, Dubai in the next year.
You've been around for a while. You've acquired this company in 2018.
Yeah.
You have some other brands in your portfolio as well. What is the sort of revenue rate you're clocking, and is the company profitable yet?
So, I mean, obviously, we have grown significantly fast for the size of capital we have raised. And primary reason for that was we did not build a platform from scratch. Our idea as a house is to be a roll-up strategy company where we believe in people who have built the brand equity and then basically come in at a stage where you can scale the sales fast.
Correct, yeah.
So, first year of acquisition, we did about 23 crores of revenue. Second year, about 47. Then it was the COVID year, so we stayed flat. But then we ended up doing 180 in the next year. Last year we closed at about 375 crores. Currently we are at about 600 crore revenue run rate. So we should be closing that 20.
Profitability?
So till last year we have become break even now. I mean, prior to that we were making a bit of losses, but not much, like to the tune of 10-20 crores flat every year. Now I think this year we should be attaining about 30 crore PAT on a 600 crore financials revenue.
So Abhishek, this $14 million has sort of given you the runway to expand. But
absolutely.
Eventually the plan is to go public?
Yeah, so I mean, that's how we have now been changing gears to move towards profitability over hypergrowth. We are happy growing at 50-70% year on year for the next 3 years. Focus on building the profitability and probably look to hit the market somewhere in 3 to 4 years from now.
But you know, this house of brands model is not very new to India, but you're also competing with some of the players with the deepest pockets in the country. You know, we're seeing corporatization of luxury retail. You have Reliance with its impressive portfolio on one hand. You have Aditya Birla Fashion Retail with its own portfolio. What's your moat? Where do you come in?
So, I mean, it started with the institutionalization of Pernia's pop-up shop in some way, because that was the first deal effectively that was done in one of the first deals done in this space. Even a year later, we invested a small capital in House of Masaba, which was also one of the first investments in designer brands at this stage.
And now life has come full circle with Masaba being one of your investors.
Yeah, she did make a small investment in the current 14 million round that you're talking about. So for us, I think we don't treat necessarily Aditya Birla and Reliance as competitors, because what they're doing is helping us institutionalize the industry faster. So in the longer scheme of things, when this becomes a fairly large market in 20 years, it obviously has a lot of pie for everybody to get a share of.
Well, also wanted to understand broadly, the idea for you is to acquire established brands and then scale them.
Yeah.
One, if you could give us an example, for instance, how large was Pernia's pop-up when you acquired in 2018 and how have you been able to scale it? And two, what is the next sort of target companies in your portfolio? Are you looking at more mature brands, or what is the potential you see with the younger ones?
So, I mean, from Pernia's growth, when we bought, it was about $1 million, like 7-8 crores kind of gross sales run rate. Today, we are at about $75 million. So that's a 75x growth from where we acquired.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a good story so far.
In just 5 years, yes.
Just 5 years. Similarly, we have more plans for the brands that we have acquired. So we acquired Wendell Rodrigues in 2020. We have also grown it about 7 times from the peak sales that the brand ever did in the whole year.
Okay.
So I think that also in a matter of 2 years, we have grown very fast.
So then what is in the pipeline? What are you looking at acquiring? What's next?
So we typically look at deals from a longer vision perspective. We are in no rush. There's no pressure on the company to constantly deliver acquisition growth. We are looking at few brands similar to Reliance and Birla. The only difference is...
Global brands?
No, so the focus is very clear from the house perspective. We are looking at Indian brands, but global distribution.
Any names we might know of?
So, unfortunately, I might not be able to disclose the names, but the idea is because we can't go and handpick an acquisition on day one, we might as well be interested in investing in brands like we had done with Masaba 3 years ago. So, that is what might happen faster than an acquisition on hand, because we believe you get more time to learn about the brand by making an investment. Because before you decide to go in an acquisition, whether it's 51% or 100%.
All right, Abhishek, thank you very much for your time here on CNBC-TV18. And since you plan to go public, hopefully we'll speak to you a lot more.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.